Why did I decide to do this? Ugh. On what must be the hottest day of the year. Oh, God. Huh? Oh, those quick snaps. So let's not mess about here and waste anybody's time. I'll mention briefly right now, quick fire off some awesome aspects of the HigVR M4 VR Gunstock, and then I will go into detail about those features later on in the video. Also, throughout the entire video, I will be putting footage in of me using the Gunstock, doing all of the things like reloading, etc., so you can get a feel and see what that's like. First things first, the HigVR M4 VR Gunstock has a built-in controller in the pistol grip. This means that your controller, there it is, right here, is the pistol grip, and you use the real trigger on the stock to fire your gun in game. This isn't just a slotted in controller, this is physically you holding the stock and using it to fire. The stock is completely plug and play, it's very easy to set up this extra controller. HigVR provide their own software to integrate it with Steam and just get it going, no problem. But seeing as you're using this is why my controller is set up here. That is for another reason, but I will get into that later in the video.
Enemy on the backside and they're on the parking. They're on the garage on the right.
I got him.
Compatible with the Quest 1, the Quest 2, the Vive Focus 3, the HP Reverb 2, the Valve Index, and more, this stock is for everyone. Number 2 is their haptic feedback. There sure is. Numero tres. I have taken the sling off to make this easier. The foregrip attachment, which you will use, is easily adjustable. 2 buttons, slide it, move it. You can do this in-game on the fly, no problem. The butt of the gunstock is legit. If you know a real gunstock, then you know exactly how to adjust it, pull it, slide it, no problem. Easy peasy, slide it in, bit shorter, there you go, no problem. Easy, comfortable. Those of you familiar with simulation gun stocks like this for VR will be asking one question: what guns can I actually use this with in game? And that I totally understand. You basically have 2 types of stock on the market. You have the fully adjustable ones like the Pro Tube or the Uni, and then you have the simulation ones like this, trying to get more of a realistic feel, like the VRS Mark III or the always famous San Lackey. With the HigVR M4 VR Gunstock, you can use it for any gun in any game that it is compatible with. And it is compatible with basically any game, but I'll get into that later. I can use this, say, in Onward, for example, with an M16A1. I can use it with a bullpup like an L85A2. I can use it with an MP5. I can use it with an AK. It all adjusts, it all fits, it all works. It's beautiful. Just a couple more quick fire points and then we're into the details. If you feel comfortable holding an M4, or you've ever held an assault rifle or a carbine and you're kind of familiar with that, then this is going to make you feel right at home. I am far more used to the M4's much older cousin, but getting this in game felt completely natural to me, and it just didn't take that time to get that muscle memory like it does with other gun stocks.
He's dead. He's dead. Go.
Thank you.
Right, they're going to keep spawning down there, Captain, or by the tank.
Copy that.
And just one more thing. Oh, that's right. Boom diggity. Just to show you the commitment HigVR have to the future of not only this stock, but VR in general, they provided me with this. This is a glove that represents your offhand controller. Now, this glove in the fingers has, if you can hear that, it has buttons that represent your controller buttons, and what that means is when you're playing, you can hold the stock with your offhand normally, realistically, like this. Bang, 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 bang. Amazing. This is in the most earliest of access right now and it's buggy as hell, but obviously it won't be when it's finished. I just wanted to show you this just to say, hey, look, this is only the beginning. Right, let's get into the full details of the video now and get me out of this because I am boiling. Ugh. The heat can't escape from my fat head and it makes me sweat. So welcome to the more fun part of my office. let's talk details. And of course, at the end of the video, I am going to tell you how much this will be, where you can get one, and all the information you need to go and buy one if you want to. Of course, as per YouTube's rules, I have to say, one, a massive thanks to HigVR for sending me this. That's not in the YouTube rules. But what is me saying that I got this for free, just to have a look at and try. They sent it to me, you know, I didn't buy it, and they're not paying me for this either. And man, I'm glad they gave it to me. I'm really glad. So, when you first receive the HigVR M4, it will be in basically 4 to 5 different pieces. It's really simple to put together. All you have to do is slot the stock into the receiver, and then you put the foregrip on, put the silencer on the barrel, because it's actually a lot shorter. That makes it a lot easier when you're using this in your house. If you have a small room to play VR in, some stocks can be a bit too big. And of course, you got the foregrip as well. So now the stock is together, let's talk about the M4 itself. It's mostly plastic, but there is some polymer in here as well. There is some metal as well, and also there's resin mold here as well. Now, this is a primary prototype that I have been sent. They will use better materials in the final product that you will be able to buy. The pistol grip with a controller embedded is 3D printed exclusively by them, as they couldn't really find a factory to do it for them. So they just said, we'll do it ourselves. And it works great. It's completely solid. I wouldn't know it's 3D printed, or 3D prints are a lot stronger than they used to be, and I'm just out of touch. They've got proper buttons and a proper joystick in as well. They're very, very similar to exactly the ones on the Quest. So if you do have a Quest and you get this stock, you'll feel right at home with this pistol grip. I thought that this was an airsoft AEG gun, just kind of gutted and repurposed as a VR gun stock, but that's not actually the case. There was some 3D modeling software involved for reference purposes, and then building it from there, which is kind of interesting. There's lots of stuff on the stock that works that unfortunately doesn't in the game. The charging handle works absolutely fine, but it doesn't work in game, which is such a shame. I'm hoping that when they master this glove, that when I reach back to pull the charging handle in game, I can use the buttons here in the finger to press against the real charging handle, pull it, and it will pull in game, and therefore I'll use the charging handle on this to charge it. Oh my goodness, charge it in game. That would be glorious. Also, the safety works as well. You can select semi-auto or safe, which is really nice. But unfortunately, that doesn't work in-game either. One day though, I hope so, one day. So that's the stock. Now we can finally get into the fun stuff. So, the controller within the pistol grip, this replaces your primary hand controller that sits up here. And the reason it sits up here is because the software that HigVR used to integrate this into Steam moves the controller's location in the virtual world from here and offsets it to sit right here, because this pistol grip controller doesn't track. There's no infrared tracking ring around this, it just sits in the gunstock. So you need tracking from somewhere else, i.e. your main controller, to make this work. And quite frankly, it works really, really well. Because the controller is sat on top, everything is clear to see. Your light boxes and Quest cameras can see this controller and the entire ring the whole time. I've never lost tracking, never had tracking problems, because it's right there. It couldn't be closer, especially to Quest headsets. It couldn't be closer to the cameras. You know, it's a perfect spot. The app is really plug and play for this as well. All you do is you open it after you've opened Steam VR, and you'll see a gamepad recognition next to your controllers. And that's it, it will have recognized the stock. All you do is open up the drop-down menus to say what headset you're using, what game you're gonna play, and then you press the play button, and boom, that's it. It adjusts your controller in the virtual space, and you're off. You basically get a little Bluetooth dongle with the VR stock, and you plug it into your computer. Because the software that they give you is integrated with Steam VR, it means it works with all headsets, but standalone headsets like the Quest 1 and the Quest 2, it's only via link or connection to your PC, AirLink, virtual desktop, whatever. It has to go through Steam VR. So if you want to play games standalone on a Quest with this, that's not available right now, and that's it. It just uses Bluetooth to communicate with the stock itself, and it does that via the magazine. Your magazine is your battery, which is really fun because every time you're about to use this stock, you feel like you're getting ready, because you're like, right, I want to use the HigVR stock today. All right. Which makes me feel great. The trigger in the gun becomes your trigger on your controller right here. And this is one of the best parts of all of it, because a lot of other stocks, in fact every other stock I've ever used, you have to use your controllers for it. And you know, that's fair enough. It's a slotted in controller, it makes a lot of sense. But there is something so different about using a real trigger to make those shots in VR. It feels so natural. If you've ever used a rifle or a carbine, like I said before, you're gonna love this. You're gonna love it. If you're a firearms lover, you are gonna love this. As for the inbuilt controller itself, it does the job absolutely fine. The joystick, I've never had any unresponsive problems with it, or the buttons. In fact, the joystick's a bit more spot on than one of my Quest controllers because the controller is pretty old. So it's definitely fresh and it's solid, and I've never had a problem with it.
What is that? What the fuck is that?
Oh shit! Oh fuck!
Shot him in the ass.
Behind there.
You'll see a button on the side right here, and this controls your haptic feedback. You turn the magazine on with the button right here, it'll light up blue so you know that it's on. All you do is you push the button here, and that gives you your haptic feedback. If you don't want to play with that, or say you're playing at nighttime and there's people sleeping in the house, you don't have to. But if you really want to go for it, you can if you want to. So, the foregrip attachment. It's been sat here this whole video and I'm sure people are like, what the hell is this? I don't understand, this is stupid. What it is you take your, that's not my offhand. You take your controller and then when you've reloaded in game, you hold it like this. Just like that. Because of the angle of the foregrip holder, your button, it just sits in there. Just sits in there nicely like that. It's beautiful. You're holding your controller to the side like this, like you would hold the actual foregrip. You just slot it in and bang, you're off like that. Doosh, 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 bang, 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 bang. What am I doing this for? Bang, 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 bang. Now let's answer one of the biggest questions. What games can you use this gunstock with? Because as some of you may know, when you have simulation gunstocks like this, they only work with certain games and certain guns within those games, which is an issue. But not with the HigVR M4. It works with all the big boys like you would expect. Pavlov, Contractors, Onward, H3 VR, Wardust, Arizona Sunshine, all the big boys, it works, it's integrated, it's bang, it's good to go, no problem. But there is also a setting in the HigVR app that's just called General. And this means that you can just take this stock into any VR game with a gun and see what you can do with it and if you can make it work or if it lines up with any of the weapons. And this of course brings us to the big punchline of HigVR as a company in general, but also the HigVR M4. This will work with any gun in any of definitely the pre-integrated games like I just listed. General, I'm not sure. But all of the big boys, you can use it with every gun. And what they've done is they've just done the simple thing. They give you access to the internal offsets of the controllers. So you can open their app and you can change the offset of where your controllers are. And you can do it on the fly while you're in game as well. Just bring up the menu, boom, adjust it, pull the Y-axis down, X-axis, whatever, and just adjust where your controller is at or where your forehand controller is at. And you can make this work with any gun in any game. You can also set presets as well. So you can edit the presets that already exist. If you like to play Onward, but you love using an AK more than anything, then you can just set the preset to be happy with using an AK and perfectly lined up. No problem. And that means it works with everything. It works with everything. I remember when I got into Onward for the first time with this stock, I just grabbed the M16 and I went straight to the range to try and make this work. And it lined up perfectly fine, no problem. So I thought, I'll switch weapons, I'll try something else, you know, something like an SKS. So I tried that, didn't line up completely well. All I did was open the menu, adjust the offset a little bit on my foregrip controller, and boom, it lined up perfectly, no problem, don't worry about it. And so this is the information. And information straight up is all well and good, but the question is, how does it feel to use this? Oh, it feels good. It feels so good. Oh my goodness. I've never felt a more natural gun stock in my life.
Okay, what do we see? Oh, right on the roof, I see him.
Yeah.
Got him.
Dude.
That's how you do that.
Nice.
This is some other kind of beast, man. This is so easily adaptable. Every gun stock that you buy says, you know, oh, allow some time. Give us a couple days. Give us a couple weeks for you to get that muscle memory for reloading and not being able to see the stock and all of that stuff. But you don't have it with this. You don't have it with this, especially if you're used to using firearms in real life. This isn't a model that looks kind of like a gun that you need to slot your controllers in with magnets. The controller is the pistol grip. The trigger is the trigger. The foregrip is the foregrip. And there's haptic feedback included. You do not get more real than this. You might find stocks like this in VR arcades because they cost like $2,000, but this isn't that. And on top of how real this feels, once they master this glove and I can actually hold on to a foregrip of a stock, really? Use the real trigger, use the real foregrip. Is there a more realistic gun stock than that? No. There is stuff like Striker VR, but that is a whole different beast. It doesn't look like a real gun, it looks like they just got it pulled out of some planet from Stargate, and it's for arcades. Not the same thing. These guys want to give you an affordable, realistic alternative for a stock that feels good, is good, and is easy to use, and they've done exactly that. Now, this wouldn't be me, and this wouldn't be Eyes on VR if I didn't find a problem with what I was looking at, or many problems, depending what I'm looking at. But with this, there's just two things that are not quite agreeable to me. It's the same with everything. Nothing's perfect, and so far, this thing is fucking glorious. First up, reloading. Initially, when you start to reload, it gets a bit funny. Because the HigVR M4 has an actual magazine in it, that does remove, but do not make that mistake. I did that before. I pressed the mag release while using it, and the battery, this is the battery, it stopped working. I was like, oh my god, get it back in. But because this stock has an actual magazine in it, you are definitely 100% gonna get some clunking, unfortunately. I did find a way around this, which is that when you have the power to change the offset, I just moved the offset of my foregrip hand just a little bit to the left. That's the best solution I found for that. Or you can just kind of line things up differently yourself, but that was the best way I found to get around that. The next thing is something everyone who is watching, who has considered the gameplay footage, is wondering, and that is, how do I switch to a pistol? The answer is, you don't. Or you can, I'm not saying that you can't, but you will pick up one of the heaviest pistols you've ever had in your life because it will have half a gun hanging off the end of it. At the end of the day, switching to pistol is just not something that this is really going to allow you to do. You can, but you will reach down to your side with this stock, pick up a pistol like this, and you will be holding like this just to use a pistol. To be fair, it's not that bad if you get used to it, but I would definitely avoid that, as it does make the pistol experience not that great. You could pop it off and then have a pistol like this, but you know, that's up to you. Now, one thing I found to be quite interesting, but not necessarily a problem, it just took a bit of getting used to, is the haptic feedback. Now, it comes from inside the stock, which is great because it really kicks you in the shoulder and it feels great. It's got a lot of power. Awesome. But no matter whether you are set to semi, this doesn't work in game, by the way, this is just visual aids. Whether you're set to semi or auto, let's say you're on auto, excellent. But if you're on semi in a game, it's still kicking back a couple of times. You have to be really sharp on the trigger not to get multiple hits back on the haptics, but it just gives you quicker reactions on the trigger, which is no bad thing really, but it did take a little adjusting, I have to admit. The problem is it's really hard to compare the HigVR M4 to any other gun stock because there aren't really gun stocks like this out there on the market right now. If you do know of some, please let me know, because I've had a look around and I know a lot of gun stocks, but nothing like this. Like I said before, there's the Striker VR, but that's a sci-fi, completely different kind of deal. These guys have really cornered something in the market, and it just feels great. It feels great and it feels natural. I can't be like, oh, it's better than this gun stock because of this, it's better than that gun stock because of that, because the comparisons aren't fair. I could compare this to at least 4 different gun stocks, 5 off the top of my head right now, but it's not a fair comparison because they do different things. Some are completely adjustable, some are trying to be simulation gun stocks, but they're magnetic controllers, so it's not the same. This, to me, is a unique stock, and I think this is absolutely the way forward and the future, especially for PC VR. So we've come to the point where I'm going to tell you how you can get hold of one of these, if you can get hold of one of these, and how much you can get hold of one of these for. So the HigVR M4 VR Gunstock is a Kickstarter. This right here is the prototype. What you will get is even better than this. The materials will be better. I have no doubt the controller holders will be different because these are okay. They're not a problem. They're easy to do, but they are quite flimsy. Even when I got the glove after the stock, it's got a completely different cup release mechanism on it. You see how much easier that was than that? So things are being improved all the time, but it will be even better than this. In regards to linking you to the Kickstarter, I'm kind of timing this a bit on the nose for when it launches. So if the Kickstarter hasn't launched yet, it won't be in the description. But if it has launched, I will come back and I will put the description to the Kickstarter in the description of this video, so you can go and check it out and you can support these guys if you want one. You'll get a lot more details on the Kickstarter page as well, you know, from the guys that made it. I'm just a mouthpiece to try and tell people that this exists. So let's talk price. VR gun stocks are notoriously expensive things to buy. A tube will cost you like $400 and simulation ones will cost you even more. The super early Kickstarter rank for this will cost you 179 euros. The conversion to that in dollars will be on the screen now because I don't know what it is off the top of my head. To be fair, it's probably like maybe $200, maybe a bit less, but that's a damn sight less expensive than some other stocks out there. The normal price on the Kickstarter will be 199 euros. This is a lot of bang for your buck. This is cheaper than most gun stocks, more realistic, more responsive, way better idea. I cannot get over the integrated controller and the pistol grip using the real trigger. I love it. The haptic feedback is included. Haptic feedback for stocks costs more than this whole stock put together for some stocks. They're doing a great job. They've got a lot of fresh ideas and they're smart and they can make those happen. So definitely go and at least check out their website, check out the Kickstarter if it's live. Because I've no doubt these guys will become a really big player in the VR industry, and I really look forward to seeing them grow. I love to see a small business expand and really live up to the potential that they've got. Well, that's it. We've reached a very sweaty end to this video. This is the summertime version of this jacket, but they never were cooling, I have to say. Also, if you could do all of the cliche things YouTubers ask you to do, liking, subscribing, spreading the word, and all of that stuff, I'd really appreciate it. And I really appreciate it if you got this far in the video. Thanks for sticking around. Also, what is this, 2 videos in less than 2 months? Well, the channel's going crazy right now. You can check out my last video, actually. I did a review on Vader Immortal 3 years later. I covered everything from the game's creation, the pre-production, Star Wars' legacy of video games, the cast, the crew, and every single episode of Vader Immortal, including the dojos as well. You can find that somewhere around here. And I'll see all you regulars on the stream next week or this week, depending when I release this video. For anyone that doesn't know, I have started doing some streams and we are just working our way through VR campaigns as best we can right now.
Surprise, motherfucker! Uh-oh. Whoa! Okay, that was a surprise. Whoa! Whoopsie!
You'll find a playlist with all the full streams in on the channel. Apart from that, I am boiling. I need to go stand outside. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Rex. This is Eyes on VR. I will see you next time. Don't ever leave me. Oh, still recording. Oh, and just one more thing. There's this. Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.